Hi, this is Ethan Rumbaugh with the Eagle Mountain City GIS department, and I'm going to go through drawing an easement from a legal description in ArcGIS Pro using the Kogo Traverse tool. And before we get started, just a few things you need to be set up to do this. One is a Kogo enabled feature layer. It's pretty easy to do that. Just create a polyline feature layer. Go to geoprocessing, search, enable Kogo, and then insert the feature layer from the drop down, press run, and it will add the fields needed to store the Kogo data. And another thing you will need is a PLSS layer, Public Land Survey System. You can just grab it from Catalog Portal Online, from ArcGIS Online, or from Living Atlas. Just search PLSS and add that to the map. I added the GRC version. And last thing you'll need is to set the ground to grid. It's in the Edit tab. It's highlighted right now, meaning that it's running, working. It has a direction offset and a distance factor. With these easements, it's for Eagle Mountain City, it's usually always around plus 0.3 and a scale of plus 1.3. And these easements don't attach the ground to grid correction reference, which is what we call the basis of bearing. They will tell you like, oh, this curve runs along this parcel line or other easement line. So you can reference it from there. But since this is for visualization purposes, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can adjust it to be pretty good. If it's for legal reasons, you obviously want that basis of bearing and for everything to be pretty spot on. With that, I'm going to go ahead and draw this easement. It is for Eagle Mountain City. I have a document that goes through drawing easements, and I'll reference it in the video, just some of the tips and tricks. But I'll just go ahead and get started. I've got it pulled up, and I like to highlight what all the traverses I've done. And the first thing I'll look at is getting to the beginning point of the easement, and it'll have traverses coming from a reference point. That's usually always from the Public Land Survey System. What I'm looking for first is the word from. That'll tell me my starting point. So from the northeast corner of said section 13, things before I reference section 13. So right here, and then it's in Township 6 South, Range 2 West, Salt Lake Basin Meridian. So there's 4 main townships that cover most of Eagle Mountain City. There's Township 5, Township 6, and there's a Range 2S and a Range 1 West, making 4 townships. We want Township 6, Range 2 West. We'll zoom in there. I'm looking for section 13, which is right here. Zoom in on it, and we're looking for the northeast corner of section 13. Let me just pull up the traverse tool. You can access it from the Edit tab. Expand the tools list, and then scroll down to the Kogo section, and it's the first one, Traverse. And it should automatically pull up Kogo enabled feature layer. You can use a non-Kogo enabled feature layer. It just doesn't store the traverse lines, which for this visualization purpose, it's really not that important, but I just like to have it. So the northeast corner is right here. I like to zoom in and make sure it snaps to the actual PLSS vertex. Okay, and then we have some traverses from that point to get to our beginning point. Beginning at a point 17 feet east. Oh, I should also mention something here. Sometimes it'll say like the north quarter corner or south quarter corner. They're not like corners, it's just what they call it. But the north quarter corner will just be very northern point in the middle of the section right here. This is the eastern quarter corner, southern quarter corner, and then west quarter corner, and then the other corners are obviously self-explanatory. But yeah, I just thought I should mention that. So we're going 17 feet east. And the reason it's not giving a degrees, minutes, seconds is that it's just going to be 90 degrees going northeast or southeast. And for east or west, you're going to hit 90 degrees dash 00 dash 00. And then this is going east, so you can do east. So yeah, north and east. I guess due east or due west, you're going to hit 90. And then for west, you can do north or south. West for east, you're going to do north or southeast. And then if it's going due north or due south, you're going to hit 0. And then you have two options. You can go northeast, northwest for north, south is southeast or southwest. And I have that referenced in that document for the different ways you could enter due northeast, south, or west. Okay, a distance of 17 feet. Enter that in. You can select the traverse in the pane to show traverse pane, and it will highlight it. To the easterly right-of-way line of Sweetwater Road. Turn the parcels layer on. Guessing this is Sweetwater Road. Height reference layer. I'll turn that on. Oh, I need to enter in the other points first. Okay, so we'll do the next point. South 02857, so capital S for south. 00-28-57. This is one way to enter it in. There's a shortcut version I'll show you next. And W for west. And along the section line 1478.87, 1478.87. Okay, you notice it said along the section line. So I'm going to move. You can click on a traverse and move it in the order. I just want to see if it actually went along the section line or not. Parcels are kind of in the way. Okay, that's our starting point. Let's see if it actually runs along. Looks like it does pretty well. Not perfectly, but it is pretty good. So Okay, so yeah, this is the section line. It doesn't quite run along it, so you can adjust the direction offset to make it 0.3. Okay, we got farther away. So we were at 0.329, we'll try 0.33. A little bit closer, maybe we'll add another, and okay, a little bit closer. 337. Okay, I'm just gonna go to 0.34. Okay, so that's pretty good. 342. Okay, I went a little too far. 341. Okay, so that aligned pretty well. Then we'll move on. With 89, 31, 89.3103. Okay, this is the shortcut. You can enter in by degrees and then a period, minutes, seconds, 3103. And then, so it's northwest, so you're gonna do a dash, and then you could enter numbers 1 through 4, 1 being corresponding to northeast. And then if you look at a compass going counter or going clockwise, so it'll go 2 is southeast, 3 is southwest, 4 is northwest. And I have that referenced in this doc, little visual for that. So 893103 is northwest. So that's going to be number 4. Distance of 2680.92. I'm going to do this again. Okay, so we're over here, and then you can turn on the parcels reference layer now. Here's Sweetwater Road, 17 feet east of this road. So this second line should end up at the end of this road. I think it would meet along this parcel, but perhaps that's off a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. And clean this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, and now cross that all off as done. Okay, and running thence, that's gonna tell you this is gonna be the first actual traverse of the easement. So it's north 027, so 0.2708. You don't have to put 00 to start, you just do 0. 2708, and that's northeast. Do 1 along said easterly line, 1115.62, 1115.62. Okay, so I'm thinking that this second line was supposed to go right up to this parcel, and this third line is I'm guessing the easement is 17 feet wide, and this is going to be the beginning point. But so I'm going to draw it and then see what we need to do to make sure everything lines up. So we just did that one to a point of curvature. That means that we're going to be starting a curve. So the first thing I want to look at gives you a lot of directions and numbers. You're not going to use all of them. So I'm looking for this keyword is chord, which tells me it's a chord bearing, and gives me this direction, north 5 degrees 51 minutes 58 seconds east. So I'm going to enter that in to start 5.51, is it 58? 5158, just northeast, which is 1, so -1. And I don't want to hit enter yet. I need to hit CB, which is for chord bearing. If you go to the document, there is a table that will tell you what to enter in after the direction to designate tangent, radial, or chord bearing. So I can hit enter. For a curve, the distance will always be 0. The next thing I want to look for is the radius. It says 1,933 foot radius. It's a curve to the right, which means it's going to be positive. If it was left, I would make the radius negative. So 1933, positive. And then the distance can be tricky. I look for the keyword a distance of, and that's the one I'm going to use for the arc length. So 365.32. You might be confused with this other number they give, this 364.77 feet, and it's pretty similar to the distance. This is different though. This is the chord length, which you could use. You would just have to tell it that it's going to, yeah, you're entering chord length. You'd have to do a D for that. But the default is the arc length, so I just like to use that. And it says to the north line of section 13. And that pretty much lines up. It's a little bit off and distance-wise. So what I would need to do is, we already know the direction offset is pretty much good. And now you can alter the constant scale. I just decreased it a little bit. And that makes it go further away. Also kind of shifts it a little bit. So we're at 1312. Let's just try 1.32. Okay, so now we're still not getting super close to that. 3.3. Okay, I'm not sure if we're even getting closer. It might be a direction offset. 3.6 is actually quite a bit. Yeah, I don't think we're getting closer. So I'm going to change it back to what it was. And it might be the direction, but really it's not that far off. We're going to keep going. Okay, 89, 9.3109 southeast, 2, and then along that section line, 15.27 feet. Okay, to a point of curvature, so we have another curve. Kind of a bit confusing. This is to a point of curvature, then southwesterly along the arc of the curve. The central angle, it doesn't say this, which it's pretty long, but you're just looking for those keywords that you need. Just start with the distance, see the word bear, so I'm looking for the direction followed by that 5.5432 southwest. And if you do forget to hit CB afterwards, I'll just show you. You could enter it. You can enter it in and then just hit CB after. Radius of 1918 is to the left, so the radius will be negative 1918. Oh, I forgot to hit the negative. Oh no, I did. And now we're looking for a distance. Okay, a distance of 365.34. 65.34. Okay. Looking good. south 0.2708, southwest, which is 3, 1115, 1115.62. Okay, now with 89.3252, northwest, that'd be 415 feet. This is to the point of beginning, which should be, yeah, it's right there. So if you want to see how close you are, you can set the closing. Well, first, what you're going to have to do is set the start to the end of the third traverse. Then you would delete these first 3 traverses. I want to wait because I want to adjust the ground to grid. See if we can get any closer. So I'm going to start with that first line. If you left click, sorry, right click on the traverse and hit zoom to. I want to see how close it follows the section line if I zoom in quite a bit. Yeah, this is the section line. If you can get it a tiny bit closer. 13411. Let's just try that. Okay, that got a little bit farther. Let's try 05. Okay, need a little bit more. Okay, a little more. You can see we were pretty close before. We'll see if that. Okay, so it's like not even moving. So 3041. That's, wait. So maybe I need to do that. Okay. We're at a very large scale, so that is extremely close. I feel confident about the direction offset. And then this should end so 17 feet from the northeast corner of said section. Beginning at a point 17 feet east of the easterly right-of-way line of Sweetwater Road. So that should be this line. We can try and see if we can adjust the constant scale. I think it needs to be a tad bit less. Okay, so that gets it closer. 9 maybe. Okay. Okay, so let's do a little bit less. Okay, so that should be pretty good. Let me start at 17 feet. And this is the actual starting point. And then this is where it should have went onto that section line. And it's very close. Yeah, this is probably like this is within a foot. Yeah, pretty spot on. This is going to be a really good easement drawing. Um, but yeah, I'll just show you, if you wanted to see how close it was, you'd have to set the start to the beginning point, which for us is right there. And then you would, it just shifts everything to the start at that point. But then you have these starting points that you no longer need. It actually messes it up, so we delete those. Now select all the traverses. That is your easement. What I do is just, if you're working with what's called a parcel fabric, you can actually close it and then we wanted to set the closing. Okay, I set the closing. It's 0.01 feet. So yeah, that's really good. So yeah, I would just trace it, create, and then easement recorder's finished. And then trace that to that layer, add in the attributes. But yeah, that's how you draw the easement without a basis of bearing explicitly given. And yeah, I'll make a couple more videos, hopefully with some different curves types there.